Ok, Andrea, siamo pronti.
Okay. So do you want me to switch on my video, perhaps?
Yep. So that did you do it?
Yes. There
All
you
right.
go.
You see,
Okay.
I can. Okay, let's try. Let's be crazy. I show you everybody. Just a moment.
Okay. Hello, good morning, everybody. Let's hope this works. Okay.
So I cut. So just one word. If you have questions, you ask. So you tell me, and then I ask Andrea. Okay, because otherwise he's not able. He's not able to hear you. Yes. All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Andrea. Sorry for
Okay.
the.
So I leave my video on just a couple of seconds to acknowledge some people. So first of all, let me apologize for not being there in person with the organizer, but especially with the students. I know that this is far from ideal. Some teaching is not the same as live teaching. So, but I had very serious family reasons that kept me here in Rome. But anyway, so I'm sorry. Rohu is a very important place for me. I can't believe I was there 25 years ago, where you're sitting right now. I think we should all be very grateful to Claude Godrèche for having started this. Rohu was very important for me for two reasons. It's where I started to crucial things in my life, my career, with a couple of well, very important interactions. Just to name two, Jean-Philippe Bouchot and Marc Mézard were there when I was there as a student. As it happens, I also started my marriage. I was there with Irene Giardina. We were sailing together. We capsized. Well, you know how it goes. So I wish that Rohu can be for you at least half as successful as it was for me. So enough chit chat. Let me stop my video, which is probably distracting too much, and share my my tablet. Okay, so I was supposed to give you a full course on collective behavior in biological systems. However, I only have 4 lectures, so there's no way I can go through this carefully. So what I decided to do is to just focus on one strong message, on one story that is supposedly should convey what I think is the most important message in my course. That is that in order to understand and study collective behavior in biological system, you really need to study statistical field theory. Sorry, I will try to write as much as I can, so you have time to write and you will depend less on my audio. So yeah, this is the take-home message of my whole course, that really statistical field theory, so statistical mechanics plus field theory, is very important to understand collective behavior even in biological systems. So the idea is the following, that biology is incredibly diverse and arresting and surprising, always confront us with incredibly surprising results. And however, I think that the first thing we have to ask when we are in front of this result is, what part of this result is really due to bona fide biological mechanisms, and what part of the result is due to physics and math? So what part of the result requires some adaptive or evolutionary biological mechanism?
Andrea?
Yes. I can't hear you.
Yes, just a moment. So the connection went away. I'm sorry. We are not seeing your slides. Okay.
Oh, really?
All right. Do you hear me now? Yes, you're
Yes.
on again. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, okay, so this is going to be hard. Anyway, I don't know how much you missed of that. Anyway, my main message is to understand collective behavior in biological systems. Uh, you do need to study statistical field theory. It will be the main message of my course, and I will focus on that. So collective behavior in biological systems. So let me give you some instances of the kind of system that I study. So we first of all have bird flocks, which will be the case I will definitely concentrate on. But you have systems like fish schools, for example, or insect swarms, or mammal herds, and many other systems. Okay, so in all these cases, if you are good enough and you do experiments, you end up by measuring the position as a function of time and the velocity of all individuals in the group. Well, probably not of all individuals, because you're doing real experimental observations in 3D or in 2D, so you may miss a couple, but this is typically your raw data, the position and the velocities of all the animals in the group. And so you see that I'm concentrating on self-propelled systems, so systems that really go around following their velocity. So the situation for neurons is clearly different, but you will hear about neurons in other lectures. Okay, so the most important problem we have at the beginning is how to detect collective behavior. So, okay, we have the group in front of us, but how do we define collective behavior in these kind of systems? So certainly the first condition is that you need a large number of animals, so n much larger than one. Okay, yeah, this is certainly a necessary condition. However, it's not enough. Okay, so if we don't have if we have n equal to 2, we're not going to be able to do statistical mechanics about that. So we want large groups, okay, or largish group, the best we can do experimentally, but this is certainly not enough, right? Because if you take 1,000 birds, each of them in a different lab, non-interacting with each other, that you certainly don't have any collective behavior. So clearly what you would like to have in order to have collective behavior is to have interaction. However, we also have a problem with interaction because, first of all, interaction in physics and also in biology always has to be compared with noise. So we know that it's not sufficient to have interaction in the system, but that interaction should be, which is always compensated by noise, could be weak enough compared to noise to produce collective behavior in the system, right? But there is a worse problem concerning interaction, that we cannot measure interaction directly. Of course, we can do inference to try to understand what is the interaction in your system. However, there is no way to put two birds on a perch and measure the force directly between them, right? So in biology, we typically have a problem that we don't have in physics, that we cannot directly measure the microscopic interaction within the particles. So we are not able, given confronted with a group of birds or of insects or of fish, to say, yeah, here there is collective behavior because they're strongly interacting with each other. We cannot measure that directly from their position and their velocities. So another criterion, which seems more promising, is to measure the order parameter, or the parameter which I would call phi in the system. So specifically in the case of systems which go around like self-propelled animals, the order parameter can be defined in this way. You take the average, so sum over I, 1 over n sum over I of vi, the velocity, normalized by their modulus, and you take the modulus of this. So this is a way to measure directly whether the system is polarized. So more or less whether or not they're all going in the same direction, or if the degrees of freedom is not the velocity but something else, whether or not all the particles in the system are doing the same thing. Because clearly if phi is equal to 1 or is close to 1, is large, you do have collective motion, while if phi is smaller, you have no collective motion, right? So again, the order parameter is a way to capture the degree of synchronization of your system. So one possibility would be to say, okay, so if you have phi, which is close to 1, then you have collective behavior. Okay, so this is one possibility. And in fact, it's quite a popular definition, or at least was quite a popular definition, especially in the biological context of collective behavior. However, I think that this is not a good idea. This is not a good definition, right? So the order parameter is certainly something very important to measure in your system, but it's not the best way to characterize whether or not you have collective behavior in your system. So why is that? Well, first of all, because you have plenty of cases in which you have phi close to 1, so a large order parameter, but no collective behavior. So this is what happens, for example, when you have an external field.
Wait a sec, is there a problem with connection?
Oh, all right, okay.
So
Yeah, if you want, we can postpone this for when you have a more stable connection. You tell me, guys.
can you
I can hear you very sporadically. So if you hear me as much as I hear you, the situation is not good, I guess.
Andrea, stiamo cercando di connettere l'audio su un altro dispositivo.
Quindi il problema era la qualità dell'audio? Ok. Mm.
Andrea, ci sei?
Sì, eccomi. Sono.
No. Ok, no, volevamo fare questa prova audio perché abbiamo messo l'audio da un'altra parte per separare le cose su due wifi diverse.
Ok.
Però non si sta sentendo.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, prova, prova, prova. Io sto dicendo prova, prova, prova. Senti? Prova, prova. So starlings are really nice birds. They drink Campari a lot. Hello, 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 prova, prova. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me? Clearly not. Hello? Chiara, mi sentite? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sto anche schioccando le dita. Hello?
Andrea, sono tornato. Ciao, mi
Ciao.
senti? Sono
Sì,
tornato adesso, ho visto del rotto. Facciamo una pausa, scusami, che qui la connessione internet è veramente un disastro. Facciamo una pausa di un quarto d'ora.
Ok.
Scusami.
Ok, mi ricollego alle 9 e un quarto?
Ok, va bene, intanto cerchiamo di
Ok.
trovare una soluzione.
Ok, a dopo.
Grazie. A dopo. Là, je suis connecté. Alors.
Ah, donc, le réseau filial, il passe alors?
Ah, je ne savais pas qu'ils l'ont connecté maintenant.
Abbiamo provato, ma non funziona.
Donc, ils ont dit qu'ils ont essayé, mais ça ne marche pas. Alors, on va